Hey everybody, welcome back. The Cisco Secure Firewall series continues. We're going to keep talking about the different policies that are out there. Today, we're going to focus on the pre-filter policy. Let's jump right into it. Your organization has decided to invest in Cisco Secure Firewall to do the firewall type things, inspection, protection. However, there are times where you have to bypass those checks. There's traffic that you might trust that you do not need to spend so much time processing or additional overhead. Perhaps it's storage traffic, perhaps it's backup traffic, certain telephony traffic. There are things that you can bypass those inspections and just let it flow through the firewall. However, you don't want to do that for everything. This is where the pre-filter policy comes in. Let's check it out. We'll go over to policies and we'll select pre-filter. And out of the box, we have this default pre-filter that's allowing everything through. We're not adding anything there. We're going to create a new policy and we'll name it pre-filter. We'll hit save. That's going to give us a blank policy. So now what we want to do is we want to add a pre-filter rule. And the goal today is to block this phone that I have in front of me. We're going to fast path it, and then we're also going to block it. For now, let's do the fast pathing. Fast pathing is allowing this traffic through the firewall without those additional inspections. Let's give it a name, phone fast path. And we have three options here. We have analyze, block, and fast path. Analyze is just kick it off and do the same checks that we normally do. Block, of course, is block, and fast path is allowing it through the firewall immediately. So let's select the fast path. The rule is enabled. There is no time range. We're going to select my lab voice zone. We're going to add that as a source going out to any destination. And then I also have an object specifically for this phone, so I'm going to select that as the source. We're not going to do VLAN tags or ports for this one. We can add a comment. We will log, though. We want to log at the beginning of the connection. Security Cloud Control is where the logs will go to. However, I also want to send it over to Splunk. We'll select that. We'll click Add. We will click Save. Now, this hasn't applied it yet. What we want to do is we want to switch over to policies and access control. That's where we would apply this particular pre-filter policy. We'll select our access control policy that is in use, which is this main DAVNet policy. And we'll notice once it loads at the top, we see what happens with packets when they come into the firewall. We see the flow. We see the first thing that happens is that pre-filter policy. Then we have decryption, we have security intelligence, we have identity checks, and then we also have our regular rules there, along with IPS. So the pre-filter, by fast pathing, we're allowing it to skip all these checks. That's why it's important you don't do this to everything. You just do this to certain traffic that you really trust. Let's select pre-filter. We'll notice that the default is selected. I want to drop this down and select my new policy, pre-filter home. I will click apply. We'll hit save. Now we've applied this policy. We've saved it. We've applied the change here, but we haven't deployed it to the firewalls yet. So we'll click deploy at the top. We see our firewall ready for deployment, and we'll give this a couple minutes. It looks like it just completed. So let's test out our change. What we want to do is let me just call my cell phone from here. Let's get some traffic going. We have communications out to WebEx. We have communications to a couple different areas. Let's redirect
Call
that.
has been forwarded to voicemail.
All right. So now let's go over to our events and logs, and we'll go over to the unified events. Now I want to change this up a bit. We're going to take a look at the last 5 minutes. Let's select last 5 minutes here. We'll apply. And at the same time, we want to select an action. And that action actually is Fastpath. Let's hit apply. All right, we have some Fastpath activity here. We can see the connection event types. We see that it is Fastpath, and this is the IP of the phone that I have, 172.30.3.25. Now, if we scroll a little bit to the right, I had added in some columns, and we'll see that it is now hitting the pre-filter policy, pre-filter home, and that is the rule that it is hitting. That way we know, is there a certain pre-filter rule that this traffic is hitting? So this is allowed, which is great. Let's make a change though. So we want to go back to our policies, and we want to go to pre-filter. Let's select our pre-filter policy here. And let's change this rule up. So now let's say we are going to block this. So instead of a fast path, we're going to block it. We don't want any processing to occur. Let's just drop it there. So same thing, except instead of allowing through, now we know this traffic is something we don't even want to look at. Let's just drop it. We changed it over to block. We're not making any other changes. If we go to logging, that's perfect. We will hit save. We will save this. Let's check out deploy. There should be no other changes except to deploy this. We'll select our firewall and we'll hit deploy. We'll give that a minute or so. Looks like we are good to go now. So now what we're looking for is the block traffic, that phone traffic that we were fast pathing through the firewall without those additional inspections. Now we just want to stop that traffic. We don't trust it. We don't even want to look at it. Let's go back to events and logs. We'll go to our unified events. And what we're going to do here is let's go to action again. Select action. We'll select block. And let's do the last 5 minutes. Apply. All right, we have some traffic that showed up here. It looks like some DNS queries. And we can see that we are hitting the same pre-filter policy that's applied to the ACP, but we have that phone block pre-filter rule. Everything else is going through except this phone. This particular object was blocked on the pre-filter policy. And that is really how the pre-filter policy works. It's simple. However, again, it's not for everything. You don't want to jam in all of your traffic in there just to bypass it, because that's not the job of the firewall. This is for traffic that you really trust that does not require inspection. I will see you on the next one.